The art of magic is one that is often overlooked in the entertainment business. It's my belief that a magician who has truly mastered his craft has more entertainment value than virtually all other forms of entertainment. The ability to manipulate the world as we know it and create the impossible is a skill that everyone can appreciate. Magic itself has had a long history of experimentation and fads, but I'm here today to explain to you how one man changed the art of magic more than any other magician ever did. That man goes by the name of David Blaine. Not only did he revolutionize a centuries-old art form, he very well may have saved it from its self-destruction. Now with the intro out of the way, let's get into it. How David Blaine saved magic from itself. The year is 1986. You just got home from school and sink into the couch to relax a little before starting your homework. You turn on the TV to see that David Copperfield is planning a magic trick on a scale larger than anyone has attempted before. He's going to walk through the Great Wall of China. You think to yourself, well, I guess I'll tune in to see that. That'll be pretty cool. You turn on the TV the night of the event to watch Copperfield walk through the wall, only to see him standing inside a box where only his shadow is visible, disappearing into the side of the wall, only to reappear in an identical box on the other side of the wall. Well, that was underwhelming. I guess it was kind of cool, but there's so many created variables, it's kind of hard to be impressed by it. And what was the point of making it the Great Wall of China? It could have been literally any solid structure and it would have had the same effect. Was it supposed to imply to the audience that there's no way they could tamper with the wall, allowing them to somehow cheat? Because if that's the case, the construction of these two shadow boxes eliminates any thought that the crew was unable to tamper with the wall. This is just like the time that they made the Statue of Liberty disappear. Like, sure, it was kind of cool, but seeing it only from one angle leaves too many possibilities for it to be truly impressive.
Right about now, I'm thinking, I hope this works.
This is what magic had become. Magic in the 80s and 90s had become something of a spectator event, not far from Evel Knievel-esque stunt performances. It was an odd phase in the existence of magic where the performances were massive productions with huge budgets meant to captivate television audiences. In a sense, magic was closer to WWE than traditional magic. It was obvious that it was all fake, but it was entertaining enough for the average person to tune in assuming they have nothing else going on. This period in magic was largely thanks to the magician known as David Copperfield. He was one of the only magicians at the time who had truly bridged the gap between magician and mainstream celebrity. He was a handsome, personable man with a mysterious aura. I mean, he was basically born to be famous in some way. And although he was a massive star, propelling magicians and magic into the mainstream for the first time since Harry Houdini, I believe his style of magic actually was harmful to magic as a whole. Now don't get me wrong, Copperfield did a lot to change what it meant to be a magician for the better. And I don't mean to discredit anything he did, but this, what I like to call spectacle magic, ended up changing magic, possibly for the worse. The effects performed simply felt too much like magic tricks for the general public to continue to care. This style of magic failed to capture what magic was truly about, making the audience forget for a moment that they're watching a trick. You want them to believe for a split second that they truly witnessed the impossible. These tricks never did that. Frankly, they got stale. I mean, there's only so many massive landmarks you can make disappear or walk through before people get bored. David, amazing performance. The way you walked through that wall was just incredible. I can't even describe it, but we need to go ahead and start planning for your next major trick. So what is the plan? You know that story from the Bible where Moses parts the Red Sea? Yeah? I'm gonna do that. You're gonna part the Red Sea. Yep. Right, yeah. You know, David, I'm not too sure that... Wait, no. I got it. We get a massive sheet to cover the entire state of Wyoming and pull it off to reveal that it has simply vanished into thin air. Yeah, once again, I'm not too sure if that's... You know what, scratch that. I got something even better. You know Easter Island? Like the island with the statues? Yeah, that one. So I'll be standing on Easter Island, just out in the open, when all of a sudden we drop a nuclear bomb onto the island, and just when all hope is lost, the audience hears a muffled voice coming from the lone remaining statue, where the sealed statue is then cut open to reveal me safely inside the statue, not a scratch on me. David, that is a great idea, right? This will be your best work yet. Oh, I'm just so excited for this. After this era, magic had a reputation of being a cheesy stage act that wasn't very impressive. Interest in magic among the general public became virtually non-existent for years following this, with a few minor exceptions. Because of this, it would be a long time before we saw any magician reach the same level of fame that Copperfield had. It would take someone who was a true master of the craft, someone who was willing to change what it meant to be a magician, someone whose impact on the industry would be larger than anyone before him.
Boy, if you don't...
The year is 1997. You walk into your house, say hello to your family, then plop down on the couch, exhausted from work. You click on the TV to see an ad for a magic special by a young, up-and-coming magician that goes by the name of David Blaine. Wow, I haven't seen a magic special since Copperfield walked through the Great Wall when I was in high school. I guess I'll check it out, if not just for the nostalgia it'll bring to see some corny, semi-entertaining tricks. When the special airs, however, what you see surprises you. This is nothing like those elaborate productions of the 80s. There's no massive props involved with 1,000 moving pieces. It's just a dude who's very soft-spoken with a deadpan delivery, walking up to people on the street and asking them if he can do a trick for them. And yet, for some reason, this is far more impressive than anything you had seen in the past. Though the tricks are simple and require no elaborate setup, they succeed in amazing anyone who bears witness. What you don't know yet, that you will find out soon enough, is that this special will affect magic as a whole more than almost anything else in its history. In this special, David Blaine had opened the doors to a new style of magic, a style that he appropriately dubbed street magic. The concept of street magic is pretty self-explanatory. You walk up to someone on the street and ask them if they'd like to see a magic trick. Simple enough, but the genius lies in the simplicity. People had become so used to these Copperfield-esque productions with tons of props and elaborate setups that it had become their idea of magic as a whole. So when a dude walks up to them on the street wearing short sleeves and jeans and does the impossible mere feet away from them, let's just say it caught some people off guard. Now, while the popularization of street magic was a large part of the success of David Blaine, it's important for me to iterate how incredibly talented the man is in his art. Anyone who has watched a David Blaine special, even his oldest ones, can understand why the man is as successful as he is. It's apparent that magic is the thing he loves most on this earth, and he's mastered it to a degree that seems impossible to the average person. Street magic was a style of magic that had never been seen by the mainstream before. Magic that didn't rely on camera positioning or gimmicks, and instead got up close and personal with the audience, allowing them to see something incredible happen, purely through sleight of hand and misdirection. David Blaine quickly became the biggest name in magic, regularly doing the impossible for anyone who was willing to watch. Magic had become what David Blaine had created. Street magic absolutely dominated magic. So much so that the general public's idea of magic had completely shifted. What used to be corny and over the top to the mainstream was now cool and genuinely impressive. Along with other street magicians such as Dynamo, magic had once again become a mainstream business. David had completely changed what it meant to be a magician, not only thanks to his tricks but his stunts as well. There have been many times throughout his career in which David decided to take a page from the playbook of the great Harry Houdini, and rather than perform a magic trick, perform some kind of big stunt. His stunts have ranged from spending nearly 3 days encapsulated in ice to holding his breath for 17 minutes. These stunts really show his dedication to improving himself through sheer determination and willpower. And though, of course, David will always claim that his stunts are real, it also shows that he's always willing to push the boundaries of what it means to be a magician. He has effectively raised the bar for the entire art form. Wait, so you're like a magician? Yeah, I'm a magician. I do magic tricks and that kind of stuff. Oh my god, that's so cool. How long can you hold your breath for? I mean, not that long. Probably like 2 minutes or something. Oh, that's cool, I guess. But what's it like to be buried alive? I've actually never been buried alive. Why would you assume that I've been buried alive? Oh, it's just I thought you were a magician, you know, like David Blaine, like that's the type of stuff he does. To say that David Blaine has changed magic would be to grossly underrate what he's done for the art form. David Blaine took magic when it was at arguably its lowest point, when everyone thought it was just cheesy stage performers that no one cared about, and he not only revitalized it, but reinvented it. He took an art that had lost most of its relevance and catapulted it into the mainstream more effectively than anyone else in history. And that, my friends, is how David Blaine saved magic from itself.